Welcome back to a brand new video, and in today's video we're going to do an unboxing, setting up, and doing a demo of the 2025 Haunted Hill Farm Convulsing Nurse. Let's get into it. Okay, so now we're going to do the unboxing, but first thing I do want to say is if it sounds a bit different, I am using some new mics. They work pretty good, I think. You guys can tell me in the comments. But let's get into the unboxing. First, I would like to show you guys the box itself. Okay, so here is the front of the box. There's no artwork on it or anything. Side of the box, we are seeing on the new boxes Haunted Hill Farm. Nothing really here. Right here is my address. I'm just going to cover that one up. But anyways, there's that other side. And there's the other side. So pretty generic box. I do want to say that this was released a couple months ago, back in January, February, something like that. But let's get into the unboxing itself. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna open the box. Now I did pick this one up on Amazon. I spent way too much money on it. I think like almost 400 bucks or something, maybe even 5. I think it was. I'd have to look at the receipt. But this is a very cool animatronic. If you don't know, it's a remake of, I believe, the 2013 Spirit Halloween version. Now, this one is updated with an updated control box and everything. I do believe it uses the old, it still has the port for the old medical box. If you know what I'm talking about, you'll know what I'm talking about. Anyways, we'll just cut the tape here. Now, opening the box, as we can see here, just open up the box. Now, the first thing that we do see inside the box, let me get the camera back over. First thing we do see inside the box, I won't need the knife anymore. But basically, first thing is just this box. We got some pieces here. It looks like there's some twist ties, so we'll pull out this tray. I'll get the tray out and get all the twist ties off, and then I'll show you guys. Now, the first thing I can say, it is this slide-out Classic Techie. Another thing about Classic Techie is that they like to put a lot of twist ties. If you don't know what I'm meaning, that's what I mean. If you can see them, there's a bunch of twist ties. So I'm going to get those off, and then I'll show you guys. Okay, I would say that probably just took me about 10 minutes to get all of them twist ties off. Like I said, they're a pain. So the first thing that we see in the box is the main body of her. Now this is a Techie product, so of course it's kind of put together, kind of not. So the first thing we're going to do is just pop this box off just to protect the head. We'll just put that to the side. Now the first thing we do see inside this box is a face. Now we can pull this I would say hip piece out, probably for a form. Now, this is what the inside of the box looks like, so we'll just pick out some pieces as we go. We've got 2 poles. They're just kind of slid in there. Just 2 square A and B poles like that. Good quality. They feel like they're powder coated, so shouldn't rust. They're sprayed inside too. Next thing that we see inside of the box is the actual frame or base, or whatever you want to call it, of the Convulsing Nurse. If I can get this twist tie out, pesky twist ties. But anyways, there are the twist ties if you've never seen them. Anyways, you should. You'll probably pretty have. Anyways, a lot more hair than the original. I have seen the original one in person. I think like twice or something like that. Bunch of little twist ties. Super annoying. I hate them. I absolutely hate them. I mean, it makes it better for shipping. I love for the shipping. But they honestly are just a pain. Like, they're not even at a point there. I'd prefer just having zip ties. I'm going to get all them out and then we'll get it all free. Okay, now she's completely loose. There's nothing else holding her in. Now, like I was saying, there is a lot more hair on this one compared to the old one. I don't know if I really like that. The instructions are on the side, but let's just slide out the base. I believe we can slide it out. Yes, so everything's going to come out all at once. And like I was saying, Techie loves to do kind of pre-built animatronics. I mean, they're not completely pre-built, but they're a lot more together than other companies would do. Let's just get that one slid right out of there. Okay. Now, there are some weird things I'm seeing inside this box, but anyways, there's the instructions. Don't think we'll need that. The adapter is right there. Now we'll just put that right to the side. Okay, so there's the body. So let's just get that off right there. Just set that right to the side. We'll take a look at that in just a second. Right here. Now this is what I was saying. Weird packaging. This right here is extremely strange. We've never, I don't think we'd ever seen something like this protected. This is really nice to see. That they really are protecting it that much. Here's a hip hoop. Pretty small hip hoop actually, like not very big. Here's the base. Again, very small. Like it's only the size of my torso. It's not very big. There's the front of the base. And then the two leg pulls. So I'm going to spread it out, see what you got, make sure you've got the part, and let's look at this. Okay, so you should have your main torso with head, your mechanism, two leg pulls, the base, the hip hoop, the hip shoulder piece or shoulder or hip piece, and your power supply. Now starting off with the base, just going to pull off these two foams. Take your pulls labeled B, B, and A. Just make sure you've got the little circle there. Just take them, snap lock them down. Now make sure it's A to A. Doesn't really matter. There's just some snap locks on the back there, just like so. And then when attaching your leg pulls, just go like this. Just put them right over and just press that right there, and they just snap in. So as simple as that. You just press them to release them, then just push them down, just like so. Now, one thing I do want to quickly mention out is these instructions. The quality of them is actually really nice. Colored pictures. Now classic techie. Very similar to Spirit actually. It looks like Spirit. The way Spirit does their instructions. This should be pretty easy setup, so I shouldn't need these. And the next piece, of course, is going to be your main mechanism. I'm going to take this one out of its plastic, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so here is the mech. This is everything that was in that little some plastic. Anyways, there is one pull that also comes with it. It was right here. But there is your mechanism. On the mechanism and the control box, you do have your volume controls, pretty standard. Battery pack, which is also standard. Very greasy mech. I'm not trying to touch it. Anyways, MIT, I'm assuming that is the activation switch for the medical box. I'm not too sure what it is. Anyways, some people are talking about it. There's the foot pad jack. There's your adapter. You do have all your different supplies and everything. And then right here would be your reset for if you have fog, which I don't. But right there's your jack. Anyways, let's get back to the setup. Alright, so we're going to just take the mechanism, and it's exactly the same thing as before. Just snap lock it in. Make sure it's lined up. You just take them and just snap lock them in. This could be a little tricky here. Just like so. Be very careful that you don't pinch yourself. This will hurt. I've done it before. It does not feel nice. Just kind of got to wiggle it in there. There we go. Should snap lock down in there. There you go. Just heard them snap lock. And then right here is your hip hoop, or I guess I don't really know what it is. Anyways, it's not sized. It's yellow and bluish. Yes, they're color coded. So goes like just like so. Really don't matter. I don't think. I think it's the exact same thing. Anyways. But the next part is this little like foam piece. You just put it over top right there. Just like so. Very simple. Not very much to do there. So the next piece is going to be this little bar labeled C. You just take it C to C. Just go down. There's a little snap lock there. A little loose, but that's okay. It makes for a better scare. Now I do got to say that about this animatronic is a very scary animatronic. Very creepy. Although I do have one thing to say. If Haunted Hill is watching this, I don't think they are. Probably not. But if they are, can we please get some artwork on the boxes, like instead of a blank box? Now on the chains right here, they do have some 3M tape. I I think the old ones did too. I probably will not use them because I want to keep it as perfect as possible. Another thing I want to talk about is the stumps. Pretty detailed. I mean, it's not very, like, not perfect. The backs are also very, like, hollow. So that's one thing they could have made solid. Just I feel like they could have for the price point. But I might put some more detail on those. Now the face. The face is the most important part of this thing. It is kind of tilted. This up here has actually got like a dome in there, I guess. There's like a metal bar, I think, right there. Anyways, the face is very detailed, a lot more detailed than the original. The IR sensor is actually right there. But this is definitely a perfect sculpt. There is a plastic form right here. There's a plastic form. You can see there's a plastic form. But there should be a little connector in there, and we'll get to that right now. Okay, so inside it is just like a plastic connector. There is no special connector. It's not metal. It is actually plastic. I know, guys, crazy, so shocking. But it is actually a plastic connector. I might be able to show you guys. Right there, you can see it's a plastic connector. You can also see there's the plastic form. There's a metal bar there. Fairly good quality. Definitely, I do think it is probably better than the original. I do not own the original. I don't know if I've said that. But just popping that over. And again, it's just a snap lock. Just got to kind of feel around in there. Make sure you get it on properly. You don't want this coming off. Just got to kind of feel around and make sure you got it on. There we go. There you go. You guys should have been able to hear that. Now I'll get her all plugged in, get all the wires plugged in. I'll try and show you guys that process. Then we'll get to the demo. Now inside of the costume here, you can see they are labeled wires. There are a couple coming out here, just two right there. There's one more right here coming from the motor. But there's the two coming from the control box. So this one is E and this one right here is D. So this one's probably E. Yes, so E. So this one will go to this one, and this one will go to this one. So I'll plug those ones in, and then we'll plug in her power adapter. Now to plug in the power adapter, you just take your port. It just does plug right into there, just like so. Okay, let's look at our demo right now. Okay, now like I said, this is a very scary animatronic. Perfect for a strobe light. I think would be pretty good. I could have done a strobe. I probably released a demo of her just on a short. But if you guys liked the video, make sure to leave a like. And thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys so much. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And bye-bye.